For tomorrow morning, unfortunately, it's not going to work. Concerned about too much surface wind. The recurring theme of this mission will be all about the wind. And tomorrow will be above the threshold, we'll have some clouds, maybe some showers as well. So tomorrow is not an optimal day. We have to wait for another storm system to pass through New Mexico. That's going to happen Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. So we're going to start to see the weather improving late in the weekend and into early next week. And that's going to afford us our next opportunity as we get into Sunday and into Monday. Those are the 2 days that we're looking at right now. Until then, we've got to let the weather settle down and clear out.
Great. I think we can go right into questions, but I just want to make sure everyone can hear it. So please hold the microphone as close to your mouth as possible so they can hear.
Hello. How exactly can you foresee how the weather will be on Sunday or on Monday?
Well, we use our best ability to use our computer modeling. We have computer models that go out all the way to 15 days. Obviously, the closer we are to a time frame, the more accurate the forecast is going to be. But what you do with balloon operations to identify weather patterns is you look where low pressure and high pressure systems are placed in the desert Southwest, where the jet stream is, and the computer models will give you a general idea of what the shape of the pattern will look like. The shape of the jet stream, the shape of the high pressure, low pressure systems, where you are in relation to those. And that's what I try to identify in the long range. You first identify what the upper low patterns are going to be like, then as you get closer, you start focusing in on more of the things that are what we call the micro scale of weather, the wind, the clouds, as we get a little bit closer. But we can look out several days and identify patterns, and that's what we've done with Sunday morning.
Angie, real quick, I just wanted, can you give a general update on what Felix, where Felix is, what he's doing, how his day was yesterday?
Yeah, well, starting obviously yesterday, he was obviously disappointed as the rest of us that we didn't get off the ground. But he's a professional as well, so as soon as we know that the mission reported and we're off, we set him up to take about 24 to 48 hours downtime. We want him to kind of get away from everything, get a chance to recalibrate, get a complete rest, because once we then get confirmation from Dollar Hunt, the program to go again, whatever day that'll be, that starts the ramp up procedure again, and that starts us sort of building towards the next job. So it's really critical for the next, next couple of days that he gets as much downtime as possible so that we can prepare to ramp it up when we need to go.
So can you address exactly which days are next days to go and what that timing looks like?
Yeah, currently what we're looking at is prepping for flight on crew rest starting Saturday morning. We're going into Saturday evening. We start our prep Saturday evening at about 2,300 hours, when starting with a weather briefing, the latest and greatest. And then that preparation will go all the way through. We'll hear first from dawn in the morning if everything's still a go, if everything looks good. But the plan is to start prepping for launch Saturday night going into Sunday.
This is a question to Colin Engineer. I was wondering, when you did your record many years ago, you obviously maybe had less pressure than this mission at the current moment. Can you try to describe what the differences are when you did your record and what Felix is happening right now?
The pressure that I had is exactly what Felix has right now. I was ready to go, and it was much better. It's frustrating because you're ready to go, the team's ready to go, but you have to go with what you see is what you get. And if you remember, I pointed out that this balloon is extremely fragile on the ground. We saw that yesterday, and you have to wait for the perfect conditions. I had the same challenge that he had on this project, waiting for the perfect day. I had to put my weatherman, just like we did for Don. So a lot of similarities. And when they came and we couldn't go, that it was programmed. I was disappointed, just like the whole team was disappointed. But we press on and look forward to the next day. And Next time she comes along, you give it all you can give.
One more quick question. We also yesterday how difficult it was to get the balloon off the ground. Is there a slowly creeping feeling into the entire team that this jump might never happen?
Absolutely not.
Definitely not.
No, we're dedicated to do it. Felix is dedicated to do it. We had a setback, but we're not going to give up. We don't go easy. The challenge is still there. The team is still there. The equipment's still there. Felix is ready to go. No, there's no disappointment. We're going to press on.
It's important that throughout the entire process of this, my being on it for 7 years and most of my team being here for 5 years, we've had a lot of issues come up along the way, a lot of things where we've gotten kicked, and you have to continue on, it's forging forward. You know, my biggest fear, which I've told many of you, was the launch process, the balloon, the weather, because the weather is something we can't control. Technically, everything is tuned in. We have multiple backups, multiple radios, multiple GPS, 10 hours of life support issues for a lock system. So we're set to be able to take a lot of problems along the way and deal with it. Weather is the one thing we can't control. But we understand that there are problems. In the past, we had a manned balloon where we thought it was our best possible window. And when we went to launch, we lost the balloon in the process. And everybody was thinking, oh my gosh, that was our window for this week. 2 days later, it turned out we had an even better window that we didn't anticipate. The weather changes, it gives you surprises. And it was one of our best launches. So that's where we're at now, as the crew looks at this as an opportunity to learn from whatever issues we have. It's unfortunately an extremely expensive dress rehearsal for what we're about to do.
The other point, of course, I think is that Red Bull is willing to have us keep going. We still have the support of the great partners, so it's a team effort, and that hasn't changed a bit. They're committed.
Mark, you mentioned just now an extremely expensive dress rehearsal. Can you tell us how expensive and how expensive that balloon was that you lost yesterday? I mean, given everything, the helium,